What's up, guys? Today we're back to working on the Focus. We're doing a visual mod today. We're going to be putting a splitter on. We got Maxton Design's front, side, and rear splitters we'll be installing. I'm going to be starting with the rear because that's probably the only one I'll get a chance to do today, and then I'll do the front and sides a little bit later, stitch everything together for you so it's one seamless, easy to watch video. Well, look at how cool it looks when it's done. All right, so I'm using some clamps to kind of get this up in place, and then I'm lining it up. The instructions aren't super clear, so I'm just getting it so it's kind of even all the way around is what I'm shooting for here. But once I get those all lined up, I'll mark it for some holes to put the mounting bolts in, and I'll use some 3M adhesive tape between the body panel and the splitter, and then I'll bolt it all together to hold it firmly in place. But that gives you an idea of kind of what those will look like here on the back. I already have the Maxton Designs lip extension there, the wing extension. So now I'm just honestly getting the rest of the pieces to put in my car to get it all to match. And once I've got it lined up, like I said, I'm gonna drill the holes 4 on each side, put the mounting hardware in place. But before I bolt it down, this time I put some 3M adhesive tape along here to just help hold it to the body as well. So I've drilled the holes where it's gonna mount to the body, and then I have installed this 3M adhesive. And now I'm going to put it back up under here and assemble it all. And then I'm using a 1/4-inch drill bit to drill these holes for the bolts because that's what size they are, and it works out pretty good. So there's the rear side splitters looking pretty sharp. Now, time to do the side skirts. These are actually going to be pretty simple, it seems like. There's a side skirt on the ground. We're just going to use this cleaner degreaser. We're going to clean up the bottom of this rocker panel here, the current side skirt. And then what we're gonna do is kind of line this up, pre-drill some holes so I know where it lines up down there. And we're gonna take this back off. We're gonna kind of scuff this up pretty good. And we're gonna use some plastic bonding compound on along that entire skirt there. Put it up there, screw it together, attach it, let it dry, and we're gonna do that on both sides. The way this works is this has got kind of a grooved edge here that sits up along the current panel. So we're just going to kind of line it up there. It's going to kind of like right there. Now ideally I'd have something to hold it in place, but there's no way I can get clamps up under here without removing. Actually, I probably get a clamp maybe right there. We'll see here in a second. See if I can hold it in place while I pre-drill these holes really quick. Unfortunately, my clamps that I have don't quite work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up in place and kind of hold it in place with my leg at the other end up here at the front of the car, and then line up the back edge here, and then just get a hole started so I know where it's going to go. So that way when I put that bonding compound on here, I've got a hole to line it up with. I'll do one at the front and one at the back here. So that way I can just line it up and glue it together and then drill the rest of the screws into it. Now, here's that side skirt. Had that hole drilled there so I can line it back up. What I'm gonna do is this edge here that goes underneath the car, this is where it sits on the current side skirt. I'm gonna take sandpaper, sand all along here, and then I'm gonna be using this JB Weld plastic weld or plastic bonder to bond it. It should go without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway, guys. You're sanding on plastic when you do this. So you don't wanna put a lot of pressure on there and build up a lot of heat. You'll start melting it. All we wanna do is sand off the shiny, like protective covering on there. So I'm just gonna use a little orbital sander and just go along the edge of it, being careful. So if you do this at home, take your time. Be careful, don't hold it at one spot and burn a hole through it and say, dang it, Dread, it's your fault, because I warned you. So the next thing, like I said, I'm gonna put this JB Weld plastic bonder on there. I'm gonna put a good bead all the way from front to back though, so that way it has a good solid bead where it connects the side skirt to the current side skirts. And like I said, I'm gonna screw it in as well. You don't have to use this plastic adhesive to do this. It's definitely recommended. This or the body panel bonding glue, definitely recommended, because you are gonna have a lot of pressure from the wind going under the car when you're driving, stuff like that. You could just mount this with the screws that are supplied, but I do not recommend that. Another option that you could do, which like I did for my rear side skirts, is to use the 3M adhesive tape. It works, but this is the better option. I mean, I don't plan on driving 140 miles an hour, but this will give me that extra sense of security. This is a 2-part epoxy, so we're gonna squeeze that onto this little scrap piece of cardboard here. I'm gonna mix it up, and then I'm gonna put it all along there. I added that 3M adhesive along the inner lip because this will sit right up inside on the back side of that skirt. Plus I've got the adhesive body plastic bonder all along the bottom. So this thing's not gonna go anywhere, and I'm gonna screw it into place. And there it is, guys. Driver's side is on. Looking good. So I'm putting the front splitter on while the car's on the ground. I've just got it up on ramps over there. Honestly, it won't be too difficult with the splitter that I'm using. It's already got holes cut out where these body clips go into the vehicle. So it should be pretty easy to do underneath the car. I'm gonna take off this cover right here between the front bumper and the actual like cover for the bottom of the engine, so that way we can get up on the back side of here and bolt this into place, bolt this new splitter into place. So I'm gonna pop these out really quick using my handy dandy body trim tools, and then this little set here with Allen's and star bits or whatever to get the bolts out here. So we're going to take that out really quick so that way we can get busy on this. Now we've got this engine cover dropped, we've got this front cover pulled down that went between the bumper and that cover, and we've used a rag and degreaser and wiped all of that down. We're going to use clamps to hold it into drill some holes in there that we're going to be able to line it up with, and then we're going to bolt it up in place, and it's literally going to be that easy. And then like I said, now what we're doing is get the clamps in place, kind of loosely holding it on. I'm going to adjust this to get it lined up correctly all the way around here. I said I'm going to drill a couple holes, probably one on each side, and then maybe this middle one here, so I can make sure I get it all lined up. Multiple holes while I have this thing clamped up to the vehicle, just so that way I can make sure that it gets lined up well. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw that 3M sticky tape all along that front edge, that front lip where it's going to connect to the body as well, where it's going to mold. I do think this is going to look really super awesome when I get it put on the car. I had it clamped up there, looking at it, it's all lined up. There it is, guys, the splitter kit fully installed. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like the video. I appreciate it a ton. Leave any comments you have down below about what you thought of this, whether you like it, whether there's another kit you like or not. And until next time.